Hey, everybody. It has been a minute. It's been very busy for me in my life with the different things I had going on. Lots of different weird situations I had to go through with a couple deals I have closed recently. But that's all gone through. We're past that. So we're back to bringing information to y'all about Columbia, Missouri and the surrounding area. And in this video, I just want to quickly talk about kind of the best seasons. And I guess this isn't Columbia specifically, but kind of what your pros and cons for each season of the year when it comes to buying and selling real estate. Now, I'm going to start with buying and then kind of go into selling. So for buying, it is very obvious that a lot of people buy in the time of probably April through July. Now, August, your school starts, so maybe the beginning of August is fine, but as soon as school starts, it pretty much shuts down. Now, the reason it's so busy then is for obvious reasons. It's not cold, people are much more willing to move, and so for that reason, a lot of people also list their homes. So that's a very obvious time to buy and sell a home is that period. Now, people do that for, again, obvious reasons. It's not cold, no snow, no ice, no holidays, things like that. School is out, especially if you wait towards the summer, school is out, which can also be very beneficial for people, less chaotic things going on. So that's the obvious period that people buy. But I just want to kind of quickly go over the pros and cons of the other periods of the year, particularly from around October, maybe September till March. So pretty much your cold months of the year. Now, September, I'll be honest, is one of the probably toughest times of the year if you have kids, just because of all the school activities and different things going on, or college. Now, if your kids are growing up and out of the house, or you're not too busy with the things that they're doing, September can actually be a great month because not only is the weather still great, but also a lot of the demand has gone down because there are a lot less people moving during that period. So September can actually be kind of a really cool month to buy a house if you're able to buy a house in that month. Now, obviously, it's not September anymore, so wait till next year if you want to wait till September. But as for October through probably March or early April, there are the obvious cons of the winter, the cold, the snow, the ice. Now, before we get on to the pros, I want to say that the period between Thanksgiving, so maybe mid-November through December, is arguably the worst time to sell a house. And it is a very difficult time to buy a house. So listing your house in that time is just hard to find a buyer, especially if you're on the higher price range. I mean, it's true for any time of the year, really, but it's just going to be hard to find a buyer. It's a lot harder to find a buyer than summer. Now, again, you might have a good situation, be able to find somebody, but with Thanksgiving going on and Christmas going on, that period is just not it, even if you are having a warmer winter and period of the year. Now, with it not being too bad weather-wise, you then receive the other pros of buying in winter, and that is you do not have to compete near as much. You actually probably be able to find better deals. If you're shopping in the lower price ranges, like under $350, you will certainly have less competition, hopefully get into less multiple offer situations. And even if you are in the upper price range, you will just have more flexibility because there are fewer houses on market. So that is another con you need to keep in mind. You'll probably have less options, but even with less options, you're going to have a lot of options, especially in today's market. There are always a bunch of options, especially if you're shopping in the over 350 price range. So if right now you are considering what time of the year should I buy a house, is it smart to buy now? Is it smart to wait? That's really the things I would keep in mind. First of all, is it going to work with your schedule? That's an obvious one. If it works with your schedule, obviously it's opened at least. Now, if it's working with your schedule and you don't have to wait toward the summer or where you have more free time, then you have to keep in mind if you're wanting to buy a house, you're going to have less inventory and the weather could fluke on you. Because I will say, despite having said Missouri has warm spells, it also is very capricious and it goes something like that. So you could get really cold really fast. That's just something to keep in mind. So weather is certainly one thing to keep in mind and lower inventory. But on the upside of that, you will have more options. So is it bad? Is it smart to buy in winter? Again, it's on a personal basis. But if you are trying to decide if you should buy in this winter or wait till the spring, having less competition can make it smoother. In fact, a lot of times, hopefully, you'll put in the offer, you'll go into contract, everything goes smoothly. There's no multiple offers. If you're a seller, you won't have as much chaos going on. Now, on the downside of that, as a seller, you also won't have as much chaos going on. So maybe it's not as chaotic, but also it's not as chaotic. You're not going to get near as many showings. It's going to take longer to sell. So on the seller side, I would definitely recommend against listing your home in November or December, on my personal belief. Now, maybe right after Christmas is a thing, maybe January 1st. I will say a fair amount of properties do hit the market January 1st because people kind of tend to think wait till after the holiday to post those properties. So that is a thing that happens. But again, it's still much lower than the summer. So I would recommend against listing a home there. If for some reason you could buy a home in that period, again, you will have less options, but you probably get the best deal because someone needs to really sell in that holiday period. There's a good chance you might be able to get a fairly good deal on that home. And again, if you are a seller, I will say there are certainly cons to selling your home in the winter. However, the only months, again, I would really avoid is November and December. If you post that home on January 1st, again, you can actually get a lot of traction because there's kind of a burst of people. It's like, okay, holidays are over. Let's go some house shopping. We need to move. We need a house shop. Maybe they don't even buy till February or March, but they're shopping in January and February. And so your house will pop in new listing. Nice to look at. again, it would probably maybe take a couple months to sell. Maybe not. Maybe they want to buy right then. It's like they're shopping. They want to buy in January. Christmas is done. Boom, buy a house. That'd be great. But at the very least, your house will look new. It's a new year, right on the market. Now, again, maybe not as much traction as summer, but there are pros and cons to both. And especially as a buyer, there are many pros that you can receive from shopping around in January, February, or early as October. So I just want to quickly go through that because I've been asked that before about what seasons are the best to buy in and different things like that. And again, it really comes down to a personal basis. But really, if you're wondering, there's some pros, there's some cons. But again, I am Noah Cochran. Always feel free to reach out to me if you want to get to know Columbia, Missouri, or the surrounding area better. I would love to help. I help people moving here from different states, or if you're relocating within Columbia and trying to sell your home, help all kinds of folks like that. So just let me know. Just reach out. I would love to be of assistance. Until next time, though, y'all have a good one.